Good morning, Lagos. Welcome to this show. It is Property 360 on Top Radio 90.9 FM. My name is Aaron Seth, aka Brewer Number One. I hope you're doing good. I hope you've had a beautiful weekend. I hope you've had some sort of jollifications during the weekend. Hope your plans for 2025 are coming into fruition. I hope that you're doing the right things and you're putting yourself in the right place for great opportunities to find you. Like I said before, my name is Aaron Seth. You can call me Brewer Number One. I'm also the king of words. This is Property 360. We are the grand tour on the real estate sector in Lagos, in Nigeria, in West Africa, Africa, and of course around the globe. And of course, Top Radio takes you to the top and stays with you. But always, as it is culturally, what we do on the show is we take you on the news segment so that you are abreast of the facts on the real estate and property sector in Nigeria and of course in the international scene. Don't touch that dial. Let Luminary water your back. When we come back, e-sales under proposal tax bill. Nigeria's real estate and construction industries is set to experience major reliefs under the proposed tax reform bill designed to make housing more affordable and encourage investment. According to Taiwo Ayodele, chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, the bill will exempt key real estate transactions from value-added tax VAT, aiming to ease the financial burden on developers, homeowners, and tenants. Speaking at the Building and Construction Industry Forum, co-organized by the Council of Registered Builders of Nigeria, COBON, and the Housing Development Advocacy Network, HDAN, Oyedele emphasized that the reforms are crafted with a focus on economic inclusivity, particularly to support low and middle income Nigerians. There will be no VAT on land, the sale of real estate, or rental payments, Oyedele stated. These are areas that have sparked debate in the past, but this bill brings clarity and relief. Lagos cracks down on illegal real estate fees and rising rents. The Lagos state government is intensifying efforts to make housing more affordable by cracking down on illegal rental charges and pushing for lower rent prices. Authorities have officially declared fees such as caution fees and inspection fees unlawful, urging real estate industry leaders to collaborate in easing the financial strain on tenants. In a public statement issued by Ganiu Lawal, Deputy Director of the Public Affairs, the government condemned the practice of imposing unauthorized fees, noting that such actions not only exploit tenants but also damage the reputation of property managers and landlords. Key stakeholders, including the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, the Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, and the Association of Estate Agents in Nigeria, recently met with state officials to address these issues. The meeting, jointly presided over by Commissioner for Housing Moruf Akinderu Fatai and Special Advisor of to the Governor on Housing Barakat Odunuga Bakari, focused on tackling arbitrary rent hikes and excessive agents' commissions while promoting ethical standards in the real estate sector. Nigeria's hidden billions. How the lack of transparency in the real estate blocks growth and investment. Nigeria's real estate sector faces a critical challenge, a significant lack of transparency that hinders domestic and international investors. This information deficit carries a heavy economic cost, impeding potential growth and development. The 2022 Global Real Estate Transparency Index by JLL categorized Nigeria as a low transparent market, lagging considerably behind regional leaders South Africa. This opacity has tangible financial implications. PwC estimates that between $300 billion and $900 billion in debt capital is locked within Nigeria's residential, real estate, and agricultural land. Their analysis suggests that the improving land registry system to provide secure and transparent ownership could unlock this capital, fostering increased investment, economic activity, and improved living standard. JACPA plans cancelled. How stricter visa policies in UK, Canada, and the US impact housing demand in Nigeria. Over the past few years, immigration policies in Western countries have become increasingly stringent. In the USA, Canada, and the UK, three of the most popular destinations for Nigerian migrants, new visa restrictions are making it more difficult for citizens of developing nations to secure residency, work permits, and student visas. For many Nigerians who once viewed immigration as a pathway to better opportunities, these restrictions are reshaping their choices. One of the emerging consequences is a potential shift in Nigeria's domestic housing demand as fewer people are able to move abroad and instead look to establish roots locally.
Said it was too low.
On the international scene, the new risk factor why developers in Nigeria should pay attention to US trade tariffs. Diaspora buyers, Nigerians living in abroad who invest back home, having long been a crucial engine of growth in the Nigerian real estate market, from luxury high-rises in Lagos to gated estates in Abuja. This segment of buyers contributes significantly to urban development, project financing, and foreign exchange inflows. In 2023 alone, the World Bank recorded over $20 billion in remittances to Nigeria, a considerable share of which found its way into real estate. However, the global economic environment is growing more uncertain, with Donald Trump now back in office as President of the United States of America and already implementing new trade tariffs. A fresh layer of risk has emerged. Nigerians has been directly impacted, with the US tariffs on Nigerians' goods rising to 14% in 2025, an increase from the previous 10%. These policies shift, alongside persistent inflation and elevated interest rates across major economies like the US and the UK, could directly affect the financial ability and willingness of diaspora Nigerians to continue investing in the Nigerian property market. For developers, this isn't just background noise, it is a critical risk factor that could reshape demand and financing. That wraps your real estate update, where the market never sleeps. Stick around, we've got a quick music break, and then we'll be right back into the show. It is Property 360 on Top of 90.9 FM. Don't touch that. Oh boy, I so love good music. That is Teddy Swims with I'm Not Your Man. And this is me saying a happy Mother's Day. Yes, I think this is the 50th for the year. So far, so good. I'm saying a happy Mother's Day to every mother out there, from my mother, Eduakwa, popular Eduakwa from the hills of Cross River, where they till and harvest cassava and yam. I'm saying a happy Mother's Day to you. To my baby girl, Jessica, I'm saying happy Mother's Day to you. Yes, you got ovaries that will multiply and become seeds eventually. Harvested seeds. That's me on the lighter note. And of course, to you out there, you are a woman, you have a child, you're a woman, you're married, and you're looking for the fruit of the womb. God will bless you. And thank you all for what you do. Men build infrastructures, but women are responsible for building society. You train the kids that you see in the streets, and you're responsible for the great men that has passed through society. Thank you so much. Happy Mother's Day to you. Now, jumping into the conversation immediately. After the news segment, we try to dissect the news segment before we go into other conversations for the day. In 2020, a VAT modification order was issued which provided that the rental of residential accommodation by persons other than corporate entities was VAT exempt. Now, I want to, so I'm bringing this home. Let's take it to Adugbo. Let's take it to the streets. For those who live in Face Me I Slap You in Lagos, or the popular Face Me I Face You compounds in Lagos, for those who live in one-room apartments, the kind of exorbitant fees that are charged for you people to rent spaces is really, it's difficult for you. And then so you've had a lot of persons complain, oh, the money is too much. You want to rent a house that is for 500,000 naira right now in Lagos. The charges that comes with it takes it to 750,000 naira. Begin to ask yourself, who's the money going to? Does the landlord requires extra charges? They say it's the agent. How much does the agent make? You have so many people in Lagos, about 22 million plus people in Lagos. That's a lot of numbers. And if you're charging one person that much, and people are going to be shifting houses or moving houses within the year, it's a bit difficult on people. And the question is, how much do these people make on a monthly basis? Most don't make more than 50,000 naira. So if you even do the maths, even in the space of 2 years, they will not be able to come up with that rent. It's a bit difficult. And so the question has always been there, why the heavy fee? The landlord will push it to the agents. The agents will push it back to the landlord. And the support system for the landlords and the agents has always been that the support system for the agents and the landlords has always been that things are very difficult in the country. and the agents are the ones that need this money and all of that. But the tenants, on the other hand, cannot see why these excuses are there. So you've had this back and forth with tenants and landlords. And so Lagos State is saying that there are no VATs added to your rental payments. VAT being value added tax. You don't have value added tax in rented properties. And this law has been in enactment for, I think, the last 5-6 years. But right now, the Lagos State is trying to enforce this law and ensure that the landlords and the agents stick to the law. And so this morning, I'm going to open the call lines. You can call 09136973485, 09136973485, or you can send an SMS or WhatsApp message to 08107137559, or you can send a message to my brewer number one channel on WhatsApp. That's at BREWERNUMBERONE, BREWERNUMBERONE. Let's go on this quick music break. It is Roots B, the song Dandelions. When we come back after this break, we're going to take you on Top 90.9 FM. We are the grantor on the real estate and the property sector in Lagos, Nigeria, West Africa, and of course around the globe. Sorry, we had some technical glitches. If you observed, you noticed I was a bit cranky at the very tail end there. We've got a few messages and good morning, Seth. My name is Helen from Dubai, but currently in Nigeria. I lived in Greensfield Estate in Bega 6 years ago when I was fully in Nigeria. The landlord collaborated with agents and they showed me Shege Banza. They had so many hidden charges, they kept on coming for more. I wasn't married then. Eventually, I got married and my husband took charge of payments and decided to sue them. He said they've been leaking my pocket for the past 3 years. Wow. I wish, I'll try and chat you up, but perhaps you could come on the show. Good evening, Seth. I'm from Japan. I was praying your show doesn't fall on the wrong timing with our time zone over here. I need to get back to bed by 8 p.m. because of work tomorrow. I love your show, sir. Thank you. They made me difficult for me in Lagos. I think you're trying to say they made life difficult for me in Lagos. And it's always Lagos, Abuja or Port Harcourt. The justice system in that country is just so unfair. You're doing a great job, sir. My name is Michelle from Tokyo. We got another one. Hi, this is Jude from Aja. Langbasa to be precise. Only ni gbogbo everybody in Lagos. Only getting everybody. Now only you people like money. Lagos, Abuja, PH, that's where all the wicked people in Nigeria have properties. How come somebody is saying the same thing the other person said? My name is Ijoma in Ekpe. You people have carried your over-exorbitant charges and you are now creeping into Ekpe as you've started buying properties here. Now, small house like this, an ordinary room contain, you will hear about 250,000 naira in charges. That's what you said. Okay, I love it. Bring in your complaints. The state government listens in on the show. Yes, I can tell you that for a fact. And what we'll do is we'll try to package some of these things and push it to them. I've got someone inside and like, see, this was happening. And you can see what Lagos State is doing. Lagos is a unique state. Lagos is one state that tackles most of the issues that it faces on a weekly basis. They take the cries of people and try to act on it. At least I stay in Lagos, I can speak for Lagos. Because we've seen, I remember one time when Mr. Wahab Tokumbo sent in representatives from the Loma office, and they came in here to tackle issues that people face with their waste bin, and where you have littered waste bins and you have blocked sewages in Lagos, a sewage system in Lagos, and they dealt with it. So it is something that they are seriously looking into. And we're still dealing with a new segment. In 2020, the government took down those charges you have in value-added tax in rented apartments. So if you are somebody in Lagos and you're renting a Face Me I Slap You building, Face Me and Slap You room, or you are renting a room self-contained, and the landlord is telling you that, oh, the money is 150K, the money is 200,000, you're asking why? And he's saying, oh, it's because of the value-added tax from the government. The government does not collect value-added tax anymore in rented properties. And not just rented properties, in properties that you are buying currently, and in property spaces, landed property. So you buy land right now, there are no value-added tax on those lands in Lagos. At least that's what they've said through the information that was passed out from the government. I have a few points that I think you should note. Having received this information, these are things I think you should do. Watch out for VAT. There's this derogatory statement about us as black people, as they will say in quotes. I don't believe we're blacks, I believe we're colored skin people. But there's this mentality they have towards us. They say if you want to hide anything from the colored skin man, put it in documentation. He will refuse to read it. We will not read it. It is a given. And of course, we have the excuses. Oh, life is so busy. Oh, we have to jump. We have to run. Lagos is a moving city. And so we don't get to read this document. It's a 2-page turner. It's a 3-page turner. Take your time. Hold on to the document. Call the services of a professional. You may have a friend who's a lawyer. You may have a lawyer who's just going to proofread it. You're going to pay him 5,000 naira. Let him read through the documents. Let him pick the holes and understand how they're trying to leak money from your pocket. Because right now, even if you want to rent a face me, I face you space, they are collecting heavy fees. Once upon a time, 12,000 naira you get a space in 2008, 2009. Once upon a time in 2014, you had 42,000 naira you get a face me, I face you space. Right now, if you don't have 200,000 naira, nobody's giving you face me, I face you in Lagos, unless you want to go to Okokomaiko. You want to enter inside Mushi, inside, where you don't know the hoodlums who stay there. You want to go inside the Ikorodu long, inside the deepest part of Ikorodu. So these are the places where you can get these cheap prices. But if you get them, what about your safety? When you're leaving for work as early as 7 a.m. in the morning, when you're coming outside, are you safe? So if you want to stay outside and you're renting a face me, I face you space, or you're renting a 1-bedroom apartment, you have to know these things. So look out for value-added tax. When they give you the documents, painstakingly go through the documents. Look for holes. Watch out for hidden charges. Yes, hidden charges. You hear things like damages. And the landlord gives you the fees for damages the first time you rent the house, and there's 50,000 naira and you've paid. And then when it is time to renew, you see another one in there. But I thought it was stipulated in the first document that you don't have to pay a second time. And if you've not damaged anything the first time, your money spills over into the following time when you are renewing your rent. But right now, your rent is to be renewed and they bring in money for damages. And when you look through, no plumbing job was done, no physical damage to the tiles or the interlocking system in the compound. Your doors were not unhinged, that you needed the services of the landlord to fix your doors. Nothing happened to you. But right now, it is time for you to renew, and they are putting a 50,000 on top. And because of your laziness and your lacklusterness and the behavior we have with refusing to look at documents, you go ahead and pay that money. And then you say, be like, Lagos is chopping me. The Lagos State government is so terrible. They don't do things right. Sometimes these are the hidden, the loopholes where we get to lose money. So I'm trying to help you not to lose money anyhow today. Watch out for changes in original terms in your documents. This is very important. You've rented a space, and all of a sudden the landlord says that there are changes. You have to ask yourself, what exactly are you changing? Sometimes you see some streets. I experienced this one time when I was living in Changisha, where there was a new rule in the streets, and the rule was supposed to affect the landlords. The landlord had to pay a certain levy. These landlords brought it to the tenants, and the tenants had to pay the levy without the landlords adding a single dime. And these tenants were already paying so much money. At the time, I was paying about 400 and something thousand naira for a rented space in Changisha. This was just a few years ago. And these landlords come and they say, now you have to pay extra fees. It's as though they don't want to do anything. Now, this show is not pro landlord, neither is it pro tenant. It is pro everybody. But today, we're staying with the tenants and those who are trying to buy properties, those who are trying to make a living in Lagos. We're trying to make a case for them. So if you're a landlord out there, maybe you think you have a problem with what we're saying, I think you should join the show. You should call us on 09136973485, 09136973485. You can send us a WhatsApp on SMS message on 08107137559, 08107137559. We've got a message here. Good morning, Seth. Oh, no, sorry. I already took this. Hi, this is Jude from Aja. Langbasa to press. I took this. I'm sorry. Good morning, my brother on the mic. Yes, I'm your brother on the mic. I am Bisola in Festac. I am a lawyer. All those laws are just noise. There's no one to enforce them. No one is going around to carry out proper survey to be sure it will happen. We will know this. We all know these things you say. We aren't patriotic enough in this nation. The politicians are not the only issue in this Nigeria. Excuse me. I think I'll stay with this SMS. I'll stay with this. This is Bisola from Festac. Good morning, my brother on the mic. I am Bisola in Festac. I am a lawyer. all those laws are just noise. So we've had this issue several times. As a matter of fact, this law was enacted in 2020 by the Lagos State government, but it has not come into enforcement until 2025. So it took 5 years. So I can see what Bisola is trying to say here. There's no one to enforce them. No one is going around to carry out proper survey to be sure it will happen. So that's another question. How will this happen? Who is enforcing this law? We all know these things, you say. We aren't patriotic enough in this nation. The politicians are not the only issue in this Nigeria. So let me even take it to Adubo. Let me take it to the streets even the more. This guy, what's his name? VDM, Very Dark Man. Recently, I saw a video of him where he was in Abuja and he almost beat up somebody who was defecating in a public space. You've heard this issue about, and there was another video of him in Lagos where he saw somebody about to poo in the Third Mainland region, and he was castigating the person. He was like, "I'll beat you up. Get out of this place." I think the one in Abuja, he told the person to pack his deficit with his hands. The guy had to pack it with his hands, and I think this is somebody owning up. I think we have to be patriotic as individuals. We cannot wait for the state government. I've said it many times. There was this video that trended a few months ago of this copper who said that Lagos was smelling. And a few of us were really upset with her. But is Lagos truly smelling? Yes, it is smelling. Now, is it the job of the government to ensure that it does not smell? No, it's not the job of the government. It is the job of we as individuals. What are we doing as individuals? You talk about the Loma vehicles. We have many Loma vehicles in Lagos. And these Loma vehicles go through the precise positions, at least in the popular spaces, and they pick the dirt consistently. But you see a woman who sells corn. It's raining, and then she throws the corn into the drainage system for water to carry it to heaven. Where's the water carrying it to? It's carrying it to a point where it will block the entire point where water can... It stops the entire flow. Now, there's a man who's an elderly man. He sees her doing what she did, does not say a thing, doesn't take responsibility. There's a young guy out there who's very pompous, larger than life attitude about life. But now you see an issue you have to deal with, like Very Dark Man dealt with one. You won't do anything. We just look at things and let things go anyhow. So as much as we voted for people who we expect to do the right things, as much as we say they don't do the right things, at least you ask for vehicles. They've provided the vehicles. These vehicles are going spaces to spaces on a weekly basis to pick up debts. Well, we as individuals, what are we doing to ensure that these rules and regulations are enforced on us as people? On a different show, I spoke about how a few weeks ago, I was about crossing the road and I saw an elderly man in his 60s. He sat down by a POS point and he ate, I think, corn and maybe akara, and took the nylon, wrapped it, and threw it on the express. And there were vehicles coming, and he threw it as such nonchalance. He just threw it as though it mattered nothing. And the painful thing was that there was a waste bin basket by his side. It was exactly by his side. I was crossing over, I saw him. I gave him a very black eye. He saw me, and then I waited for vehicles to pass through. I bent down and picked the dirt, and I was looking at him while I picked the dirt. And I walked close to him and dropped the dirt by the waste bin on the side. I saw how shameful he looked, and I was glad that he looked that way. His friends were looking at him. And that way, I have passed a message to them. We always say that the youths are over-exorbitant. That's the English word, yeah? They're over-exorbitant in their behavior, youthful exuberance. But you can see the elderly ones, they exemplify the exact image that they criticize in the youth. So it's not it's not something that you find amongst just the younger people. It is a terrible behavior that trickles from the very top to the bottom. It touches the adults, it goes to millennials, it touches Gen Zs, it will rub on alphas, it will touch the next generation, and Nigeria just keeps on going on a rumble of recklessness where everybody just behaves anyhow. Let's be like Very Dark Man, at least in that part of his life, where we all speak out when we see people doing the wrong thing. Let me not bore you so much. It is a real estate show, but when I run the show, I love for people who don't have money, don't have millions to invest in real estate to enjoy the show. So we're going to go on a quick music break. That's what we do on the show. We give you information, we take you on an adventure, and we give you great music and entertain you. My name is Aaron Seth. You can call me Brewer number one or the King of Wars. This is Property 360. We are the grand tour on the real estate sector in Lagos, Nigeria, West Africa, and of course around the globe. And of course, this is Top Radio 90.9 FM, the station that always keeps you abreast of the facts, takes you to the top and stays with you. We'll be back after that. That was Lagos in Paris by Mali Spirit. Good morning. In case you're just tuning in, this is Top Radio 90.9 FM, and of course, this is Property 360 on Top Radio 90.9 FM. We are the grant on the real estate sector in Lagos, in Nigeria, in West Africa, Africa, and around the globe. My name is Aaron Seth. Happy Mother's Day to every mother out there, even though you're just a lady and you're not married yet, and maybe you don't even have a child. Yeah, you've got fertilizers inside of you, just waiting to be seeded. We got another message here. Good morning, Brewer. My name is Jumoke from South Africa. I love listening to your show as it keeps me updated with happenings in the real estate sector in Lagos, where I have two properties. I have hacked down on my agents. I only work with one now. After the law, I realized it would be very difficult working with them. Have a beautiful day. I know this is the fear of the agents. I know the world is changing so fast, and nobody wants to lose the opportunities that they have. AI is doing that already to a lot of persons, and this new law by the Lagos State government will ensure that some monies leave the hands of agents. So I know the fear. Hey Aaron, I love your show. I'm listening from Bega, Lagos. House in Bega is gold. A young man can't even start planning to get married. Those who are married are paying through their noses. They charge around 250,000 for security, agency, and all those other funny things. Oh boy, me, I don't trust this government one bit. Until I see actions, I won't believe a thing. I am Bayo, you say. Good afternoon, Seth. My name is Moses from Japan. I am a Nigerian. I saw your program through an Instagram post. I love your own for everything Nigerian properties. Trying to put one on one together. I love your own. I think you're trying to say you love how I. Okay, I think you're trying to say I would love to own. I completely missed, but I'll jump it. Anyone can listen to your show, even if they don't have big bucks yet for property. Oh, I think you're saying that you love how I run this property show. Anyone can listen to the show, even if they don't have big bucks yet for properties. I recently sent money to my brother to get a place for himself and my mom in Ajao Estate. We paid in excesses of 500,000 just in settlements. Of course, they won't agree, but we did the maths. Hi, Aaron. Happy New Month. Happy New Month to you. I missed your show last week. What happened, sir? It's the first for the year you're missing. I hope you're good. My name is Monica from Shagamu. Things are also expensive here, but not as crazy as you people in Lagos. It is also painful for us, though. I stay in a 3-bedroom with my husband. We pay more than 100,000 in services. I mean, it's touching everybody, but you can see that in other parts of the country, it's not as exorbitant as it is in Lagos. Well, of course, Lagos is a mega city. I will argue and say that it is the most mega city we have in Africa, or at least in West Africa. So the rural, the urban, the city gets, the more costly life is. Those who in Washington will tell you, those who live in Seoul, Japan will tell you, those who live in Tokyo, Japan, and Seoul, Korea will tell you that the big cities of the world, life tends to be difficult. The only problem is when your expenses do not match your money-making ability. And so even the guys who are making a lot of money in Lagos right now are complaining that the houses are very, very expensive. And that's why the Lagos State government has looked into that and has hacked down on those prices. We've got less than 18 more, how many minutes more? More than less than 12, 13 minutes. 8 minutes, because I said I'm going to leave the studio by exactly 10:50 so that the next people can have enough time to prepare for the show. The next voice you'll be hearing after mine will be that of Mr. Gordon Nagana and the Top Sports crew. So much to talk about, from the failures of Arsenal to the the flogging of Real Madrid yesterday by Barcelona. It was a very difficult night for Real Madrid. Okay, and something else I think we should quickly touch that I spoke about, that I read in the news segment. Yeah, this is information that you need. You need this information. Lagos cracks down on illegal real estate fees and rising rents. I think you should hold on to this information. If you want to reach out to the Lagos State government on issues that has to do with high prices from the landlord, you're not sure about what the landlord is doing, or you want to get information from the Lagos State government about what to do if value-added tax is in your documents by your landlord, or you want to report to the landlord, or you want to have a discussion with them. These are fast numbers that you can reach them on. 090-1999-9997. I'll take that again. I know it sounds confusing. 090. That is 090. After that, you have 1999. You have 997. Another contact you can reach them on is 090-1999-9977. I take that again. 090-1999-9977. You can also reach them on 090-40000444. 090-40000444. Or you can reach them on this number finally, 090-4000-055. 090-4000-055. You can call in and you can I tried the numbers. These numbers are fast. You've reached the Lagos State government and you can lay your complaints on a landlord who you think still has those crazy charges on properties that are being rented out, or you think that you have hidden figures under what they are collecting from you in those normal charges. Yeah, I mean, this is information you can take to the bank. We've come to the end of the show. We'll have 5 more minutes to go, but I think we'll have a few messages. This one says, Aaron, good morning. This is Udwak in Central Europe. I love listening to your show. Thank you for your consistency. Una still day for that country. Una they try for that country. You sure say una no go sell the country, carry go buy cheap houses to live in. Udwak. That's funny, but it's not so funny. Okay. I think that's as much as we have on for the messages. But okay. This one says, please can you call the phone numbers again? I'm just going to call only 2 of them. I'll call the simple ones. 090-4000-0444. That's 090-4000-0444 and 090-4000-0555. If you call these numbers, you can reach the Lagos State government on issues regarding VAT, value-added tax, on properties, on rented spaces, and on landed properties. If you have issues with your landlord on these issues, you can call the Lagos State government. They will help you with information and maybe even help you settle disputes. Yeah, that's as much as we can take this morning. But before we go, just a cool music break, and then we'll come back. I'll give you some parting words, and then we'll jump out of the studio. The next song you're going to be hearing is Dandelions by Ruth B. Someone said that it is not Dandelions, that she has a catalog of songs called Dandelions, but she has a cliche to each new song. I don't know, but this is Dandelions by Ruth B. Glitches today. So Dandelions by Ruth B. Play. Thanks for but of course, this is Property 360 on Top Radio 90.9 FM. We are, as always, the grand tour on the real estate sector in Lagos, in Nigeria, in West Africa, and of course around the globe. We deal with real estate issues in the country. We deal with pressing issues. We bring you news from the state government, from the federal level, and the international scene of what is happening in the real estate sector. And make sure that you are abreast of the facts always, and that you make the right decision when you are investing. And today, we brought you this amazing information on the VAT, the value added tax system in the Lagos State government and the federal government, when they charge people and all of that. And Lagos State government is saying with emphasis that right now, until hitherto, when they have something pinned on the ground, there's no charges on properties, there's no charges on landed properties, and there's no charges on rental spaces. So if you have a landlord who has those stuff, hinged on what you're renting, and saying, you have to pay for value-added tax because it's paying back to the government, that's a big fat lie. Don't pay that money. You want to buy a property in Lagos right now, they're asking you for value-added tax, inclusive, don't pay that money. You want to buy a landed space, don't pay that money. That's what the state government is saying. And you can report them. I called out the numbers. I hope you saw them. Go to my page on Property 360 NG on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and X, and of course our YouTube channel. I'll post this information out there. You don't pay that money. You see the phone numbers you can call to report these persons if you have any of these issues. My name is Brewer Number One, aka Aaron Seth. You can also call me the King of Words. This is Property 360 on Top 90.9 FM. Comes to you every Mondays from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. I leave you with my parting word as always. You may be a Christian, a strong one. You speak in tongues, you're filled with the Holy Ghost. You believe in all of Christ's provision, yes, as a new birth. You may be a Muslim. You are consistent in your service to humanity and your service to Allah. You may even be one of those who practices all of this traditional worship and all of that. Not here to condemn anybody. At the end of the day, you see all of you put together. If you don't go and look for work to do, Sakpa is going to blow you, Lagos. Goodbye.